there you are, YouTube. Do. Subscribe if you're interested, but also no pressure. Today we're going to do a random ranking, but before I get into that, like what was it? Not my previous video, but the video before. It was a review for Wicked. It's doing like really well for my channel anyway. And just gotta say, like all of the like Wicked community, all the people in the comments section there have just been so kind and helpful and informative. Didn't know anything about Wicked, and I'm learning so much about not only Wicked but the history of Wizard of Oz, the original books and stuff from the 39 film, and then the Wicked book, and then the Wicked play, and now the Wicked movie. I don't know, that community has just been really awesome in the comments section there, so if any of them have carried over and are watching this video, thank you so much for being so kind. Really appreciate it. But yeah, what we're going to do today is just an old-fashioned random ranking that we do on this channel. It's been a while since I have done one. Gosh, when was the last one? I mean, have I done one at all this month? I don't think I have. So yeah, we're getting back to it. And basically what a random ranking is, if you're new to the channel, it's when we go to my movie collection behind me and pick out 3 movies at random, and then we rank those movies based on whatever criteria we come up with. I'll rank them here in the video, but if you'd like to rank them in the comments below, please feel free to do so. Let's get to picking some movies. Alright, maybe we'll do one. Oh my goodness, my pants are tucked into my sleep pant, or my shirt is tucked into my pants. That was looking kind of silly, wasn't it? Maybe one from here, and let's pick this film right here. And give them the old ranking. We got to make sure I've seen these movies, because if I haven't, we got to swap them out. I'm going to swap that one out. Keep. Okay. So this one, I remember it being on a lot when I was in college. This is one I'm taking out. Like when I was in the dorms, people were playing this in their dorm rooms, and I would catch some of it, but I can't even remember if I've seen the full thing. But I do remember this was like my introduction to Zach Galifianakis. I think this was the first time I ever saw him in anything. But yeah, look at this. Somebody was selling this for $7 at one point. I probably couldn't sell this for a nickel if I wanted to. But yeah, we got to pick up one more movie, because I don't think I can rank that one. And we're going to pick this one right here. Ooh, it's sealed. Shadow and Fog by Woody Allen. I have not seen that either, so I can't rank that. So let's do this one right here. All right, I can do that one. Whew! Wow, these are all, 2 of them are really popular, what do you call them? Mainstream blockbuster style movies. One is a more independent film. So the one I just picked up was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So the more recent Planet of the Apes trilogy. This is the second one. So you have Rise of the Planet of the Apes, then Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, then War for the Planet of the Apes. And then now we're starting a new one, a new trilogy. Speaking of, I did not get that for Christmas. Shoot, I have to buy that on my own now. And that is, what is that one called? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. But anyway, of this trilogy here, you know, I do need to go in and rewatch all those movies. I feel like I could rank those 3, really, any of them in the #1 spot, any of them in the 2nd spot, any of them in the 3rd spot. It just kind of depends on what I'm looking for. But for me, I think the first one is the one I enjoy the most. So that would be Rise. It's the most accessible, it's the most popcorny, it's the most mainstream feeling. And then the 3rd one, War for the Planet of the Apes, it's more the slow-moving movie, but it's like grand on like a biblical scale, hero's, you know, journey almost sort of thing. Is that the right? Maybe it's not hero's journey, but you know, like story of Moses almost, or something like that. You know, Ramesses, let my people go. You know, that sort of stuff. But this one here, this one is very good as well. Also, Felicity is in it. Carrie Russell, if you watch the show Felicity. But yeah, I remember I saw this movie. I was a, a camp counselor for an art camp, and on the last day we would always take them all to the movie theater, and then we would all have to. Well, I don't know. I think for this year, I don't know. It doesn't matter, but some years we would have them spread out to different movies. This year, we had them all watch the same movie. And this was so intense for some of them. I remember some of them turning away and like crying and being like, I got to get out of here. And these were high school students. And I was like, oh, shoot. So, this movie was very intense, I remember. But I think it's also the one I remember the least. But I do remember thinking, oh, wow, this is a bold leap forward compared to the first one, which felt more popcorny. So, good movie there. I really love that franchise, like the whole franchise, the whole Planet of the Apes franchise. You can see I even got some Planet of the Apes stuff over here. It's great. I love it. Next, we have The Incredible Hulk. Now, this is part of the MCU, but also feels very separate from the MCU because we have Edward Norton playing Bruce Banner. And of course, the Hulk here looks completely different than the one that we have now in the MCU, which is played by Mark Ruffalo. That styling is more traditional to the comic book, closer to the comic book anyway. This is very different. We do have some of these characters, though, showing up more in the MCU, like Ross, of course, who is now played by Harrison Ford. Abomination, right there, has come back. I think Leader, I think his name is, has come back. So a variety of these characters are still in the story or in the larger MCU story, so that helps to make this one feel a little bit more connected. I remember not being that big of a fan of this one for a variety of reasons. Um, One of them, just kind of the ending, felt like a letdown a little bit. It all just kind of fizzled, but I think that was ultimately it was good for character building for the Hulk. Um, but it was just not good for excitement, blockbuster excitement, I guess. Also, I don't like the design of him. I don't know. I had various issues with it, but I don't know. This one was always kind of lower on my superhero movie list. Next, we have an independent film, independent comedy called Adventureland right here. This has Kristen Stewart and Jesse Eisenberg. Love them. Um, Jesse Eisenberg, I think, is one of my favorite actors right now. I think I still have to see his new movie, which is coming out, and I believe it will be nominated for. Whoops, I forgot to light that up. For some Oscars. All of these right here are my Best Picture winners. Right here, I don't think it will be a Best Picture winner, but nominated for an Oscar, possibly. What is that movie called? I can't think of it right now. Kieran Culkin is in it also, and Jesse Eisenberg directs and also stars in it. But anyway, I was listening to an interview recently with Jesse Eisenberg, and he was talking about this movie. And I believe I don't know, was he saying it was like one of his favorite movies that he had done? I can't remember, but um, he's worked with Kristen Stewart a number of times. And I think he said he like learned a lot from her with this film. And then he also, the two of them, I remember he had some great comments towards them, which are all leaving my brain right now, which I guess is what happens when you do these impromptu reviews. But I think he was talking. What was he talking about? I can't remember it. How this was like not overly silly. It had a more serious vibe to it. It was like exactly the part he was like looking for. Like in a project, he was like looking for certain things, and this is the one that was brought to him, and he was like, yes, this is perfect. This is what I'm looking for. So it had like near Judd Apatow style, but it wasn't exactly Judd Apatow style. And I think he was saying something maybe like he knew he didn't quite fit in that Judd Apatow style at the time, but this was like almost adjacent to it and more indie. And it was exactly what he was wanting. So this movie has definitely grown on me over the years. I used to be sort of weirded out by how cartoony their characters are compared to everybody else. But I don't know. I'm kind of I just rewatching. This is one of my wife's favorite movies. Just rewatching it over the years many times has I don't know, caused it to them to grow on me. Like I don't see them as like ununified from the rest of the film. I kind of I can see it all as a whole now. Honestly, when I think about it now, he seems like the outsider because he's I don't know, he's just so he's Deadpool now, and I don't know, maybe just only see him as that. It's just weird to think of him as in being in a movie like this anymore. But yeah, really like this movie. Okay, but how am I going to rank these, right? Um, I think so. You know, we can rank these based off of whatever criteria we want. We could do it based off of the cover art. We could base it on which one's our favorite director, which ones have our favorite actors in them. I think I'm going to do sort of a mix up, and I don't know. I think I'm going to put this one at the end just because I just was always kind of disappointed in it, and it's now feels incredibly separate from the MCU, even though they're bringing it back a lot of the characters. But he just looks so different. Edward Norton is in it. It just there's a lot of things that just don't seem connected. I mean, not that I even follow the MCU anymore, but I don't know. It just has things that I've never really cared for in it. And then here's where I'm going to have trouble, 1 and 2. So Adventureland, like I said, has just grown on me so much. But, and maybe this is cheating, but the Planet of the Apes as a franchise, even though I told you that this one is of the three, the one that I remember the least, when I just think of the franchise as a whole, it is just one of my favorites. It's like, I don't know, if I'm thinking about all my favorite movie franchises, this one is probably like, I don't know, maybe 6, 7, 8, something like that. I don't know. I don't know, maybe even higher, because, you know, I was thinking, like, what about Star Wars? And it's like, Star Wars makes a lot of stuff I don't care about anymore, which just continues to make Star Wars drop. If we are talking only Star Wars from Star Wars to Return of the Jedi, then that's higher. But if we're talking about everything Star Wars, I mean, that's plummeting daily, right? So, gosh, I think I'm going to go ahead and go with Dawn, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, just because the enormous respect I have for the franchise, just remembering that I did like this movie and how intense it is and how serious they take all of this and how the sincerity in which they play the characters and the apes and everything is just great, and I like how it's not silly or anything. They take the subject matter seriously. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, then Adventureland, which is also really great, and then The Incredible Hulk there at the end. But my question to you is, have you seen these movies? These three right here? And if so, what do you think of them? And if you've seen all three, how would you rank them? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below, and perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.